Okay, so we're going to talk about the booking script. This is also known as the best script. Okay, so this is going to be the first thing you want to memorize because you're going to be calling your clients, calling your leads, and going through this script to book an appointment. Now, the better you are at this script, the better your dials are going to go. There's always going to be a learning curve. Everyone sucks in the beginning. So don't worry. Don't feel like you're going to go in here being an expert because you're not. But you can kind of fake it till you make it by just knowing this script backwards and forwards. Because what happens is you're going to talk to a lead, they're going to derail you somehow. They're going to say something weird, they're going to interrupt you, they're going to ask you a question, and the art of this is to address, redirect back to the script. Address, redirect back to the script. Okay? So I'm going to run through this. We're going to talk it through and then I'm going to just read it like I would a client. Okay. Now, when you call them, you're going to do your little double dial. Okay. So it's going to ring three times, hang up, call them back again, ring all the way to voicemail. And then you're going to call the next lead. That's how we dial. Now, if they answer and they say hello, you're going to say, "Hey, Charles." Yes. Hey, Charles, this is Paige, and I'm following up with you about the request you made for information on mortgage protection coverage. That's the one that pays the mortgage if something happens to you. I'm the field underwriter assigned to your case and just needed to verify some information here. Then I'll start working on those options for you. Now, I have your address as 123 Main Street, and the original mortgage you had is 250,000. Is that correct? Now, couple of things. So the only time that they got to talk is when they verified that that's who they were, right? When I said, "Hey, Charles," yeah, and they usually are like, "Who's calling? Who's this?" Like, whatever. You're just gonna say, "Hey, Charles, this is Paige, and I'm actually following up with you about the request you made for information." You're just gonna go right into it. Now, you should not be pausing at all during this entire paragraph. They get to talk at this point and this point only after the correct, right? They get to answer your questions. They don't get to talk. And the reason is if you pause at any point during this, you're going to get hung up on. People are going to assume the worst. They're not going to know who you are. As humans, we like freak out when we don't understand something. So this is going to happen to you 9 times out of 10 if you don't do what I'm saying. Okay. So either learn the hard way or the easy way. Go through this paragraph nonstop till the very end. Now, something else here. So, confidence is key. If you're coming across really, really bossy, people are going to listen to you. If you come across really shy or you ask everything with a question at the end, like, "Hi, this is Paige, and I'm following up with you about the request you made for info on mortgage protection coverage." That sounds not confident, right? It sounds kind of annoying. So don't do that, okay? And the reason that we memorize this is so it becomes muscle memory. Okay, someone's gonna answer, you're gonna go right into it. You're just gonna click right into gear and go through this perfectly. So practice, 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 practice. Practice on your spouse, on your kids, on your friends, on your mom, on your dad. Practice this so that you're really, really good at talking to people, but staying on track. Okay. Now, I do this way for a couple of reasons. Every lead you get is going to have different information on it. So you never know, right? Sometimes you're going to get their birthday. Sometimes you're going to get their age. Sometimes you're not going to, I don't know, you're not going to get the right information. And we want to sound credible right from the start. So you will always have their address and you will always have their mortgage amount. Okay. So I always lead with that. If you can verify 3 bits of information, you sound more trustworthy right from the start. So this is how that's designed. So now I have your address is blah, 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 and the original mortgage amount is blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, is that a 30-year term that you have? Most mortgages are 30-year terms. Some are 20, some are 15. But most people have a 30-year term. So you're just verifying, is that a 30-year term? Okay, yes or no. Next, what is your monthly payment right now? So what are they paying monthly? You are writing all of this down, by the way. You have your little lead form or your sheet of paper or you're taking notes on your computer, however you do it, but make sure you are writing this down. Okay? Next one. Now I had you down as this age when you filled out the form. Is that correct? If you see a birthday, just say I have your birthday is blah, blah, blah. Is that correct? Okay. The reason that we ask it this way, if they only have an age, is sometimes a lead is a year or two old. If you got a lower price lead, that's sometimes the case. So if you say, I have you as 40 and they're really 42, you might not sound like you know what you're talking about. But I had, when you filled out this form, you were age 40. Is that correct? Okay. Now, have you used any nicotine or tobacco in the last year? No. You don't plan on starting anytime soon, do you? That's always kind of a cheesy joke, but it gets people laughing. If people can laugh during this, then the better, right? If they don't do anything, if they just cold shoulder you, just laugh at yourself. Okay. You don't plan on starting this weekend, do you? Anyways, so good deal. Now, if you were to pass away, who would be the beneficiary of the home? Write this down. If it's a spouse, we need to get the spouse's information as well. Okay. Now, just know if it's not a spouse, it's okay. It's all right. You don't need to get their like daughter or son or cousin's health information. Just the spouse. Spouses need to be on every appointment. If they're not going to be there, you need to pick a time that they are going to be there. If they don't show up, it's going to be a one-legged appointment. And every single time you're going to get, I need to talk to my spouse before I make any decisions. You're going to be frustrated. It's going to happen. Again, learn that the hard way or the easy way, but that's how it's going to be. Okay. So if they do not have a spouse, then you just go through this like normal, continuing on. If they do, that's how it's going to go here. Okay. So it would be my husband. Okay. And is he a nicotine or a tobacco user? No. Okay, perfect. Now, these carriers do not require any medical exams, but they do look into our health history. So anything major for you in the past 10 years? Any heart attacks, cancers, strokes, anything like that? No. Okay. And then how about for your spouse? No. Okay. Pro tip, use the spouse's name if they tell you. It sounds way better. Okay. So we'll just use my husband Hunter. Okay. Anything for Hunter? No. Okay. Now, anything history wise of like high blood pressure, diabetes, COPD for either of you? No. Okay. And what medications does the doctor have you on? If they're like, oh, I don't know, I take a lot of medications, I don't know the names of them. That's okay. What do you take them for? And then just wait. Okay. Get as much information as you can on this call. It's going to help you with running appointments. So just know that, but wait. Okay. And if they go and get their little medications list, write down everything that you can. The more information they tell you, the stickier this appointment becomes. Okay. So just get everything that you can. If you can't spell it, do your best and then Google it later. Okay. I never ask them if they give me the medication. I don't really ask them what it's for. I'll ask them in the follow-up appointment just because you could find that out yourself, usually by Googling. So just get what they tell you, get everything that they tell you, write it all down. If they tell you what it's for, great, write it down. But you don't need to ask if, you can get at least the name of the medication. That's helpful. Google it later, find out what the heck it is. Now, everyone's favorite question, what is your height and weight? Got to get that. Okay. We need their height and weight. So find that out for both spouses. If it's a man you're talking to, I always like to say, and I know you probably don't know exactly, but what's your best guess at your wife's height and weight? Okay. They'll always laugh at that. It's funny. Okay. Now, sounds good. I have everything I need right now. I'm going to get to work for you and shop around with our carriers to get you the best options. Once I have those narrowed down, we're going to hop on the phone to review. Now, my schedule's crazy this week, so let's go ahead and set aside 15 minutes to chat after I get these together. Now, generally speaking, does before 5 or after 5 work better for you? We ask this because we want to make sure they're going to be home. We don't want to talk to them while they're driving. We don't want to talk to them while they're at work. They will not be focused. We want them to be home relaxed together with their spouse. Okay. So if they say, oh, after 5, okay. And then after 5, generally good for Hunter as well. Yeah, he's usually home around 3:30. Okay, awesome. So looking at my schedule, looks like I have tomorrow, I have a 5:45 or I've got a 6:45. Which time works better for you both? Okay, then they choose. Now, couple important things here. You only give 2 times as an option, and you need to make sure you give it during the window that they tell you both will be available. You got to use your listening skills here, okay? So listen when they say when they're available, and then hop on and say when you can actually schedule, okay? Now, if you got to do it in the next couple days. So this is where being strong is really important, okay? Asking follow-up questions, being strong, super, super important, okay? Now, you'd give them the 2 times, and that's a definite good time for you. Great. Do me a favor, grab something to write with. and let me know when you're ready to take down a few things. Wait for them to do this, then you're ready to take down. Okay. Make sure they write everything down. Okay. If they do, they're more likely to show up. All right. Book the appointment within 24, 48 hours at the latest, and you're going to have yourself a higher show rate. Okay. Memorize this. It's going to do you good.